Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to come and be a guest of ours on the Detox Divas tonight. I have got a brand new, well, not brand new to the industry, definitely not, presenter tonight, guest that's going to educate us on the Amazing Seasons of Success combo kit. And I'm going to introduce her in just a minute. But welcome. We are so glad you're here. The company is Green Organics. Green Organics has two companies underneath the umbrella. One is Heart and Body Naturals and one is Go to Sauna. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on Go to Sauna, the essential oil and personal care line. When I tell you that this company loves to make people feel better, both health-wise, mentally, financially, whatever your goal is, Heart and Body Naturals is here to help fulfill that desire within you. And the compassion that comes out of the corporate office is unlike anything I've ever seen. Paula Scarcella, our owner and chief operator, is she just wants to make an impact in your life. And again, whether it's health, finances, whatever it is, she just wants to make an impact. And her husband, Ben, the vice president, he is just such a great balance for her. They're so in love, and they're such a beautiful couple, which creates this beautiful company for us. And our formulator is Alexandra Brighton. Alexandra Brighton is world renowned for her formulations, her intuition in putting these formulations together in both the supplement line and the essential oil and personal care line. She's got 30 years of aromatherapy. She's a formulator, educator, owner of the Brighton Institute of Botanical Studies. She's the creator of the Degenerative Disc Disease Clinic in Mexico and created her own herbal pharmacy with all of her plant knowledge. The rumor is the woman sleeps with her aromatherapy books and her recipe books, and just gaining that knowledge, sleeping with that knowledge so that she can be better. And just, she doesn't do this for finances at all. It's just in her. It's a part of who she is. It's her DNA to understand how to heal people with plants, not pills. And because of her reputation, she has first harvest rights globally, which we're pretty proud of. My name is Tina Heuermann. I'm the founder of the Detox Divas. We meet here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Central. I am a wife, a mother, and a grandmother, mindset coach, wellness advocate. My new book will be out towards the end of the month called Glow Stick Girl. And I'm a motivational speaker. And I love how Coach Kimberly throws in her Mexico. I am just like that when it comes to having my toes in the sand. It's such a beautiful experience. Anything near water for me is just so healing and nurturing to my soul. So I'm going to have to add that to my slide. So Kimberly, Coach Kimberly, thank you so much for that. Because it's like, you know what? I love that too. So we have a pure plant promise, and our Green Organics company's research and development team sources the most potent ingredients from all corners of the globe for their potential health benefits. Again, rumor has it that when it's harvest time, Alexandra will get up in the middle of the night just to check the forecast for the field that is about to be harvested. She's that hands-on. She cares about that purity so much. And Paul is very protective of Alexandra's reputation globally as well. And so none of our products will ever have an ingredient in it that's going to cause harm to you. Nothing synthetic, nothing fake. It is all pure plants. And that is our promise to you, our consumer. Before we go any further, because we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff tonight, because essential oils really are such an amazing part of your healing journey and the way that they work. I mean, when you think about it, if you're eating a spinach salad, because of the nutrients in spinach, essential oils are essentially the oil from the plants that gives you the benefit, but it's a more potent form. So none of this has been approved by the FDA. We are not here to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure. None of this is medical advice at all. It is informational purposes only and is never intended to replace the primary relationship you have with your healthcare provider. Let's get here. So Veronica is absolutely amazing. She was one of our guest speakers a while ago when I got into kind of a crunch with Donna, and Donna was not able to attend. And I reached out to Veronica. I'm like, hey, can you do this last minute? She's like, yeah. And then Donna had something come up with her schedule. And now Veronica is going to be teaching with us every other week on Thursdays. We won't be doing the Tuesday night calls anymore. We'll alternate the oils and go to sauna and HBN every other Thursday. So it'll be a little bit less confusing for all of you too. But Veronica transforms the lives of private and corporate clients through consultations and educational programs. She's a writer, poet, blogger, speaker, and author herself. She's 20 years fibromyalgia advocate and 10-year support group leader. That's pretty amazing. She's developed a self-care program for those suffering from chronic pain. She's a champion for Team Natural Hair, promoting 100% natural hair care products, organizes anti-hair shaming efforts for people of color, which is amazing. So let me stop share now. I never shared that to begin with, did I? Well, it was a really good presentation, y'all. Let me close that down. Okay. And I don't read the comments. So if anybody was talking to me in the comments telling me I wasn't sharing, I did not see that because that's way too much distraction for me. So let me close that. All right, now we are together. And Veronica, thank you again so much for being a part of this with us and just helping us educate. We love that we get to give you, someone with so much knowledge, a platform to share your passion. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Seasons of Success collection for the month of July. And I'm just going to let you take over and do your thing and just educate us. Everybody else, if you could do me a favor and grab a pen and paper, because some of this information is going to be something that you're going to be able to use to help some other people. So go ahead, Veronica.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And I'm seeing the amazing comments. Hi, Tori and Sean. They were in my last certification course. And I see Tori, she's not even with Go to Sauna. So thanks, Tori. I guess you saw I shared that I was going to speak tonight.
Oh, that's awesome. Welcome,
Yeah.
Tori.
So, before we get started, I don't know if some of you working or in the same or situated in the same area where your oils are, but if you happen to have Transform, um, if you could grab that and then your a carrier or your castor seed oil, and we're going to do a demo at the end when we start talking about the Transform. And if you can, if not, then you can do it afterward or when your auto ship comes in. So I was really excited about this collection, and then some of the activities that I've been doing in my personal life is going to really coincide with this success mentoring blends. Because we have two of those, well, really one, but Transform is, I would consider that one the same, in the same category. But it's going to be something interesting that we're going to talk about with that. But first, our single oil of the month is lemongrass. Now, I absolutely love lemongrass. It's one of those really bright and airy type oils that you can just, I mean, it has this lemony scent. It's a little bit more powerful than actual lemon as far as the scent. So that's why it works so well when you're using it for cleaning products and also your laundry products, or if you want to scent your laundry. I use either soap nuts or some type of scent-free, dye-free detergent, because we don't do artificial fragrance in our house at all. But I like my clothes to smell nice.
Mhm.
So what I do is I get some baking soda, and this is an old recycled classical spaghetti jar. You don't have to go out and spend a whole lot of money to do this. You can just recycle some of the things that you have and make up cleaning products. So I like to use glass because, of course, essential oils can eat through certain plastic. So if it's not a PET bottle, then it could eat through the plastic and contaminate whatever you have in it. So just like Go to Sauna used to have these misters, and they were in these PET bottles. This is an old one, but I just kept the bottle and I keep refilling it and putting my oils in it, because I've had this for years and is no cracks, no melting, any of that. So keep your PET bottles that we get from here. And also keep your black seed oil bottles. These also make great misters. You can use them because they're glass. You clean them out and you can make a mister to spray in your home. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to joy. But this is all this is baking soda and your favorite essential oils. What uh, makes lemongrass so appropriate for the laundry is it is a very powerful antifungal. And so if you have kids that play sports, or if you play sports, there are staph infections in locker rooms. Um, my son, used to play basketball, and the sweat gets into the band of the shorts, and he would always get these boils. And so to prevent that, you can add lemongrass and tea tree to some baking soda. Then you add that to your laundry, and that can help um, get rid of the fungus that's in the clothes that we find in clothing. So that's one of my favorite uses of it. It's great for diffusing, just like on our product information page. It gives us all these different uses, and diffusing, because it has a stronger scent than lemon, it diffuses really well. And it'll still give you that same uplifting, um how citrus oils uplift your spirit and get you out of a funk. um Lemongrass can do the same thing, because one of the chemical constituents in lemongrass is called citral, and that's one of the main constituents that you find in most citrus oils. So that's why it's wonderful in the diffuser. Um, this oil can be used by people of all ages, except for, we always have to exercise caution with children 3 and under, because, there's just certain oils that kids under 3 um, should only use. But if you notice in the product information page, it has some dilution suggestions. And so even though in healthy individuals, you can go up to 10% dilution, but in children, it's a lot less. And also you have to exercise caution with pregnancy as well. Um, and you shouldn't use it unless it's in the second trimester. So all of that information, of course, is in the pages, but the reason um that's the case is because, well, was that the one? Yeah, well, I won't get into all the chemistry of that, but it is a constituent in it that would make it a little bit stronger for certain individuals. And it is a grass. So it is diffused from a grass. So if people have outside allergies, sometimes it can irritate the skin. So you may want to start off with a smaller dilution percentage than 10%. You can start off with like maybe a 3%, and or up to a 5. But it just depends on the individual person. Sometimes it may be irritating to some people, but for the most part, it's a pretty safe oil to use without any problems. So
Great.
the I see on the before I move on. Oh, somebody answered that question. Okay,
Yep, I
great.
got that.
Great. Now, joy. That's going to bring us into one of our seasons of success blends. Now, this one, when you go through and read the product information page, which that's information that you can access and read yourself, but it helps us to see how we can get out of a funk and have a more joyous outlook. And it's interesting. I actually broke down the blend, the oils that's in the blend, um, to see why um, Alexandra Brighton put all of these oils in this particular blend. Now, at first, it starts off with the citrus oil. So we know that those oils are uplifting anyway. So we have sweet orange, tangerine, pink grapefruit, and red mandarin.
Mm.
So those are going to be, those are the first oils that you're going to smell. And they're going to dissipate a little bit quicker, but you're going to get that uplifting moment when you smell it, especially when you diffuse. But when I saw spearmint, I said, why did she put spearmint in this blend? And everybody have their own favorites, and spearmint is kind of not one of my favorites. But excuse me. So I was like, okay, is this going to totally ruin the blend by adding spearmint to it? But when I looked up, I already knew rose was good on the spirit, and it helps with depression.
Mhm.
And rosewood, that's another good oil that's good for depression and nervousness. So when I looked up spearmint, I was like, okay, why is spearmint in here? Well, one of my sources says that it is an antidepressant also. So with all of the citrusy oils and also the smell of the rose and the smell of rosewood, that spearmint, you probably won't even smell it. I can't wait to get mine. I haven't gotten this particular blend in yet, but I'm pretty sure you're not gonna smell the spearmint.
No.
But yeah, so it's interesting how she gave blended oils to uplift and also oils that are good for depression. So we can't help but to be joyous when we use it, right?
Right. Especially those citrus smells like.
Oh yes, that's my favorite smell to
Mhm.
diffuse. I when you know how you go on vacation, you come back in your house like, and my husband's like, put something on the vents. That those are. Have you ever tried putting drops of essential oils on your now just
The filter, I've done it
filter?
on my, yeah,
Yes,
I've done it on
your
my
filter.
filter. And
Yeah.
I've also put it on the dust bag in my vacuum.
Oh yeah.
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 And then, like with my showings and stuff for the open house, I've taken little cotton makeup squares and put whatever oil, step into your personal power, whatever I'm thinking, feeling that day. And I'll hide those in different areas. And when my realtor comes over, he goes, "Your house always smells so warm and comforting." I'm like,
Mhm. Yeah. And so, yeah, those are the oils I tend to gravitate to, or the citrusy smells. And I
mhm.
put them on my filter, and within a minute or so, it permeates all throughout the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think like protector would be really good for that too, especially during cold and flu season, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I would think.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm not sure about the medicinal benefits of putting it on the vents. I don't know.
I was just thinking
You know,
inhalation.
it could have
Yeah.
some benefit. But I do know that misters are really good when you're during cold and flu season, because when you have the bottle, once you put, if it, for you newbies, what a mister is just water and essential oils put in a bottle, a spray bottle, and you usually have to use a glass or a metal bottle or a PET plastic bottle, because essential oils are so potent, especially ours. They will eat through plastic.
How many
And
drops would you say for somebody? What would be 30? Did you say 30%, right?
no,
No.
what?
For
The
how
50,
many drops would
that
you
was,
put in that bottle that you have right there?
which one is this one? Let me see. How this one is a 4 ounce. It's faded. I can't remember. 4 ounce.
Well, I know the black seed is 1 ounce.
Okay, so 1 ounce. I have to pull up my essential oil calculator right quick,
Oh, that's okay.
because
That's
I
okay.
don't memorize drops. I know there's some people, because see there because there's so many different um dilution percentages.
Oh, gotcha. Well, and
Yeah.
the product information page tells us that too.
Yeah, I know in the lemongrass, I think it had 40, let me see, for the Mr. Where is it? Misting, 20 drops with 4 ounces
Okay.
of distilled water. So I guess if the black seed oil bottle is what, 1 ounce?
I think so. It's 30 milliliters. I think, is that an ounce?
Is that an ounce or two?
I don't even have one up
But
here.
either way it goes, just divide it up, depending on the
Yeah,
size.
it's got to be one
But
ounce because the castor seed oil is 4. Yep. Coach Kimberly just said, yep. Okay. So the black seed is 1 ounce.
okay, and the castor seed is 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a website. It's I think it's called eocalculator.com
Okay.
by Aroma Trust. My friend Emily created an essential oil calculator, so you can calculate the dilution percentage. So that's why, like in the product information pages, it'll tell you 3% for children, 4%, 5% or whatever. And you can go to that calculator and do that online.
Great.
Now, one of our books, if it's still in the back office, the book that Alexandra Brighton, I forgot the name of it, but it has a chart in that book that'll let you know how many drops per amount of carrier. Or so yeah, I didn't think to look to see if it was
I'll
still there.
see about that.
But yeah, there was 2 books that she wrote that are excellent. In fact, I've actually passed them on to I think what Coach Seymour is holding up a book. Yeah. That's the infectious disease one, but it's the recipes from the steel room. I want to
Okay.
put that
Yeah.
on the front page of our website still. The Oil of the Month Club website. You used to
Yeah.
could and download it from there.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't looked at the new ones when they came out. I know back in the day when I first started, they did, but yeah, that steel room book. Yes, it
Yeah.
has all of those. Um, that has a chart in there where you can go and look and see how many drops. So
Awesome.
yeah, this is just too much information to memorize.
Right.
And so we usually have I always have a calculator on my phone or my computer, because you can download it and just put in, and it's
Perfect.
right there. When you're out of town, You don't have to worry about books and charts and all that.
Perfect.
Yes. All righty. So joy is that was the last one we talked about. Now the next one is called Be Wise. Now this was I wasn't when I printed out this whole um booklet that you sent me, and I wasn't aware. I'm still getting used to the new stuff
Uh-huh.
because I remember the whole body collection, and I knew all of that from back then. But now we got the Seasons of Success, and now this one is the Success Mentoring Blends.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is a little bit different. When I read the information regarding this, this is something that is very rare for an aromatherapist to be able to have the capability of doing. And that is, I call it intuitive blending.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, like in the pamphlet, she says, quote, is far more than a bunch of oils mixed together. That's so common in the essential oil industry. And that's what people are doing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Recipes are great, but you want recipes from someone like Alexandra Brighton or people who have intuitive blending abilities. And I wasn't really aware of what that meant until I started doing these interviews with um, these aromatherapists who have been in the business for decades. And they really spearheaded modern day aromatherapy. And I can count on one hand the number of aromatherapists that's really good at intuitive blending. And I always wondered why I loved Alexandria Brighton's blending technique. So to explain to you what intuitive blending is, it's sort of like my mom makes great sweet potato pies, and she has her own way of doing it, and it's not like the average recipe. So I can take those same ingredients. It will not taste like hers. But I'm watching her and she's making it. And I was like, Mom, how much cinnamon? How much nutmeg? How much that? I don't do that. I put this, and I'm like, okay, what, how do you get it to taste like this every single time? I don't know. I just do it. And that's what they say, it's like cooking from love or
Right.
soul food. That's the same way it is with intuitive blending. And so by us having a line of oil, really all of our line of oils are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so this Be Wise, when I looked up the different individual oils, you have the rosemary, sandalwood. Do you know how expensive sandalwood is? And do you know how much it's adulterated and passed off as real sandalwood? And they'll put Texas cedarwood in it, which is very cheap. But you have someone with the experience of Alexandria Brighton can make sure that we get the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to actually break down the cost of purchasing these individual oils and make these blends yourself, you wouldn't be able to afford it. But here we can just pay a few dollars and get that same benefit. And so um, rosemary helps the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're thinking when you have a big test to take, or you have a job interview, or doing this presentation using rosemary. Then you have the sandalwood, which is grounding, and it always help brings out um, something. Well, I guess it helps a person to be more creative. That's why it's on the endangered list, actually. And so this is a very sustainable way to use it in a blend. so that a lot of people don't have to go buy the sandalwood individually. Um, but the reason why is because a lot of people want to use it for its spiritual purposes. And same with the lavender and also sage. You were talking about
Yes.
cleansing your home.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Sage officinalis. Well, this one is, yeah, this is officinalis. Um, that's a good grounding energy clearer. And so um, this combination, of course, we don't have time to go into the details of what it can actually do, but it can actually heighten your perception and your wisdom. So this is why those oils were chosen for this blend.
Uh,
Um,
Donna had come from a different company, as you know, and was with them for 19 years. And so she wasn't as experienced with Alexandria's oils as you were. And when she would dive into these ingredients, she would be like, "Oh, why'd she put that? Why'd she put that?" And then she'd be like, "Oh my gosh." Like she's never been impressed by, you know, a formulator before. And
mhm.
she just, just diving into the different oils that make up the blends is just so, like you said, it's made with love. It's I've heard she talks to her oils too and casts that intention of love onto them, so that they bless, because our words have such a high vibrational. I talk about that all the time. Your
Mhm.
words have so much power. And I know that her formulating, it's a lifetime passion. It's not something she does for a job. She does it because it's who she is, just like what I do. I love what I do and what you do. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, I found that I've, like I said, I interviewed one person that um had this intuitive blending. He has it actually has it as a business for like 30 something years himself. And he says he just puts his whole body, mind, and soul, everything, the knowledge that he's learned over the years, just everything, it just happens. And people don't understand why his blends turn out the way that they do. They can try to duplicate it, but they don't. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's unexplainable. But as he was explaining it to me, I was thinking, I said, I said, I probably look crazy to him because I was like, huh? I was trying to contain myself because I was thinking, I do mine's the same way. When I actually sit down and take my time,
Hmm.
like when my aunt was transitioning, she was in hospice for cancer. And right before her transitioning, I was like, oh man, I need to do something for her before I leave here, before, because I was visiting that area and she wasn't up for company. Um, so I said, well, Dad, I'm gonna make this blend for her, so that she can relax and I was just thinking, what can I put in here? And I just it was like 4 or 5, 6 oils, and I made it. And her son was saying that she had such a peaceful transition, that she was relaxed, she was calm, she was more calmer than everybody else. So um sometimes when you're thinking about the person and then you feel what they feel,
Uh-huh.
uh then something just comes out of you and says, you
Right.
know what, this oil is going to help with that, and this oil is going to help with that. And I mean, it just happens that way.
I totally get it.
But it takes years. It took me
Yeah.
what, 12 years at least in order to be able to do that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and it takes awareness too, that it can be done, because I feel I do that a lot with my clients when they come to me with an issue. It's I just get the words. I mean, it's not like, I know the products obviously, but it just, that one pops in. I sent a bottle of a roller bottle to a friend the other day that I knew was suffering, and so I, made a roller bottle, and it went beyond what she was dealing with. After we got to talking, it was kind of cool. But yeah.
Mhm.
So transform. You ready?
Yeah. Now, if some of you were able to get a bottle of Transform, I wanted to do this. What I like to do with my oils, especially when I first get them, I like to just use them maybe maybe a day or so. Only that oil, just to see what it will do.
Okay.
And so what I decided to do, because I had, in fact, I have the old Gold Asana bottle, like we were talking about the other day, how we forget which oils we had.
Uh-huh.
And this one is still good, by the way. But I have I'm an aromatherapist, so I have oils everywhere. So some of them do not get used as often. And Transform actually was not one that I got. I didn't get it.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you why. Because in our training, we're trained to use, when you're blending, to use three, maybe four oils. And the idea of that is they're saying that the other oils compete with each other and they don't do this and that. And I just didn't resonate with that teaching, but I figured, hey, they're the experts, so I guess I'll do it that way. So for years, I always limited the number of oils that I used in my blends, and because I was following the rules.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't know that I was an intuitive blender myself. And sometimes I would just play around with the oils for myself, but I would make other people the 3 to 4 oil blends. But for me, I was like, let me just see what'll happen if I do this, and then, and I keep smelling it, then I add another one and this. And so before you know it, I've had 10 oils added to this one blend. And that's definitely beyond standard teaching. And so when I looked at this blend, when I first saw it, when I first, years and years ago, it just did not coincide with my teaching, the way I was taught. So I just didn't, I was like, this is too many oils in this blend. It's not gonna, but that's what synergy is how you create and how it all melts together or blends together. And sometimes, if it sits for a minute and ages for a minute, it actually improves and gets better. And this is some new research that I'm going to encourage one of the persons that I interviewed to do, because he has oils that are more than 30 years old and they're still good. And the whole industry will say, oh, you got to get rid of your oils, you got to rotate out your cases and all of this. And that's the way we were taught. These oils only last a year, this only 2 years. But he has that research because of his experience. And I said, he needs to write a book, so he needs to let us know, because no one ever had an oil for 35 years
Yeah.
and know what it can do. But he has that knowledge. But that's just a side point. So what I encourage you to do, if you have your Transform, just put a little carrier oil in the palm of your hand, and then you can take like 1 or 2 drops of Transform and just swirl it around in the palm of your hands, and then place it on a pain spot. I got a bad trap muscle here, so I'm going to put it right here. Now, I did this demonstration 2 hours ago on my knee, and I have been having stiffness and stuff all day long. And I got up and started walking like I wasn't limping at all. The stiffness and stuff went away. So I went and put it on my shoulder. So the pain started going away. But guess what? This blend was not created for that. It was created for a different purpose. So at the end, I want you all just take a note, or maybe you could put in the comments if it actually helped you, or how it helped you, or how it made you feel. The oils in this blend are absolutely amazing. My husband looked at me, he says, "You got a class tonight or tomorrow?" I said, "No, well, I said, I'm doing this class with a group of people from my Go to Sauna group." He said, he said, "Why you got all these books all over the place?" You know, when I'm teaching a class or teaching a workshop, I have 4 or 5 books and I'm, preparing the lessons and everything. And I prepared a lesson on this oil.
Good.
But when I said to use transform to diffuse transform, there's 2 types of sages in this blend. So
Oh,
you have sage, which is uh, Salvia officinalis, and then you have clary sage, which is Salvia scalaria. So those are 2 different types of sages. They're in the same plant family, but they're different chemotypes. And
okay.
then there are other chemotypes of sage, or what they call plant species. And so everyone knows that that's what sage does. It clears
Mm-hmm.
the bad energy out so
Uh-huh.
that good energy can come in. Same with patchouli.
Yeah.
Patchouli is very grounding. Um, People use it for spiritual purposes. Spikenard. That's why spikenard is on the endangered list, because people use it for worship and for spiritual purposes
Mm-hmm.
and to clear their space. And so that's why this is a sustainable way to use spikenard, is in a blend. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody don't have to go out and buy a bottle.
Yeah. Spikenard was also the oil that um, Mary used in the when she washed Jesus's feet a few days before he was crucified. So, which I think was intuitive in itself, because spikenard is such a great trauma relief oil.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so most of these oils that's in this blend, you can find in your product information pages, and then it will have therapeutic, what they call it, therapeutic properties.
Uh huh. I think so.
Yeah. And then, yeah. And so you can actually do your own little research with any blend, look at the therapeutic properties, and use it for multiple uses.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was looking at the therapeutic properties, since transform is supposed to be about transforming our thought process, I can't hardly see uh, with these bifocals. Well, I forgot what it said it was going to do. It released emotional patterning or traumatic experiences that are stored on a cellular level
Mm-hmm.
in our limbic system. That is so powerful, especially
So
now
powerful.
with all of the trauma informed
Mm-hmm.
um, studies that we have to do. I have to do that at work. We have to do trauma informed training with school children, because they, had such a hard time during COVID.
Yeah.
And a lot of people also have other trauma patterns that they have to transform. And that's what this oil was designed to do. But when I went through and I looked at it, they also had muscle pain, menstrual pain. It can help There had oils in it that helped menopause, anxiety, positive reinforcement. Um, what else? Depression, reducing stress. So it had so many multiple purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when we look at our blends, um, we may use it for one thing, but then we can benefit in another way. So
Mm-hmm.
those of you who put that oil on you, do you feel a second benefit from that? That's actually how they discovered uh, that essential oils can have multiple benefits from the same oil. Because Margaret Murray, she was the first woman in modern day aromatherapy. And she had to, in order, back then, only the French doctors could practice aromatherapy. So her husband was a French physician, but when they got a divorce, she had to figure out a way to continue her aromatherapy. So she moved to another country where she would have the freedom to practice it in massage. And so as she was giving massages, people were realizing that their depression was going away, their anxiety was going away. So that's when she realized that, we have a multi-purpose use for our essential oils. And so I encourage you to play around with these oils and have fun with them.
That's awesome. Well, I need to get these people, some of them have to get to the next call. Veronica, I cannot
Oh,
wait to have you back. I was thinking the next one would be a great time to do like a back to school essential oil training on what would be beneficial to get, for the kids to help
yes,
with their
that's
immune
great.
system and focus and sleep and anxiety and all of that. So you and I can talk about that. Let me go ahead and share screen this time and go through a couple of these slides. So go ahead and take a screenshot right there of the brand new product that we have, the organic deodorant clay and tea tree. Absolutely amazing. The reviews coming in are phenomenal. Men are sweating profusely and loving the fact that they don't stink. This kit that I have right here in front of us is $69.95. It has the deodorant, it's got the soap, it has the toothpaste, it has the combo joy and lemongrass, but then it also has HEPA detox and lemon in there. Such a great kit. And seriously, you get all that for $70. It blows my mind the purity of oils that we have and the price that we get. Heart and Body Naturals has a special right now. If you have an order in Heart and Body Naturals for supplements that is 100 CV on a brand new order or 100 CV on an auto ship order, you're going to get a free black seed oil. So I just gave an example right there. If you buy a fulvic acid mineral powder, you're going to get that black seed oil for free automatically. Don't have to do anything special. It's going to be added right to your cart. So that call that's coming up here in about 10 minutes, if sharing these products and helping other people live a life more naturally, holistically, plants not pills, is of interest to you, please hop on that next call with Coach Marcus. He's such an amazing servant leader. I love to listen to his trainings because his heart comes out when he's training. And that's going to be at One Team One Dream hangout.com, and the passcode is Go One Team. Next week, next Thursday, 7 o'clock Central, I'm going to turn the mic over to Miriam and Jessica, and they're going to run the show for me next week. Want to start raising some other leaders in this company, and they're going to be looking for some people that have done the 3-day liver cleanse and would love to share their testimony. So if you would like to be one of those people, either reach out to myself or Miriam or Jessica, and we'll get you lined up. We'll get you a cute banner so you can talk about it. And looking forward to seeing you all next week. So I am sure that everyone has been blowing up the chat to thank Veronica for her time tonight. And just so, because having training like this, especially with somebody that's trained with Alexandria, is just such a beautiful blessing. So Veronica, thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you grow as a leader within the company, also stepping into your power and sharing your knowledge with us. So with that, I am going to go ahead and end this meeting. Thank you all. Love you much. Let's transform and have some joy. Bye-bye.
Bye.